Hey, this is Steve Good on the Coin Chat with my co-host Yuri Cataldo, and today we are with Kadan Stadelman from Komodo. Kadan, welcome to the show today. It's great to have you.
Welcome.
Hi guys. Hey, thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for being here. It's very exciting because Komodo has obviously become, quite a name in the market. You guys have been around since 2016, and from what I can see, you guys, your name is getting bigger and more recognized in more places. So it's great to have you to really dig in and find out more about the project. So we'd really love to just tell us everything you can about the project. But before we start, you go by CA333. So of course, I'm sure many people would like to know, the hell is CA333?
Well, the CA actually, I'll just tell you straight, I'm not gonna hide it within a puzzle or turn it into a riddle.
You can make a competition out of it if you'd like.
Yeah. Well, I've always been fascinated by cryptography. Always been reading a lot about this side of things, even during my younger age, even pre-teenage. I was fascinated. I mean, first algorithms that I learned were the Caesar cipher for encryption, decryption. I remember I, as a little boy, actually was playing with my dad, and we were encrypting and decrypting little text errors, hello, goodbye, what's your name, and stuff like that. And C stands for crypto. So that's one of the ideologies and visions that I have. The A, the second one, I mean, it's still in my name. I wouldn't refer to me as a pure of that, but it stands for anarchy, not in a negative sense. No, of course, but more for the open, liberal, free side of things. That's more the idea behind the anarchy. And 3, I mean, we all know from the Trinity and just general 3, it's a prime number. I like that number a lot.
Yep, and you did it 3 times.
Yeah, and I have it 3 times. So,
so that's symbolic.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm multiplying the 3 on 3 for double the Trinity. Oh, that rhymes actually. Yeah, but 3 is a number that I've been fascinated with. Same with 7, right? So 73 is 37, 73, it's the best number in my eyes, and our core leader and visionary James Lee, JL777, had the 7 in. I took the 3 and 7-3. It's the best number. Yeah. In binary inverted, it would be a palindrome, same number again backwards, and it has many really interesting properties from a geek perspective.
Sure.
So it's interesting. Yeah, just look into 7, just look into 3, look into the combination of those 2, and that was the reason why I took the 3. If the 7 would have been free, I would be CA777. But James was faster than me. He's been here earlier, so he took the best digit. Okay.
Sure.
And you're the CTO of Komodo, right?
Yes.
Right. So have you been involved with the project since its very inception, since the very beginning of it?
Since the very beginning, yes. I haven't started in this position, but still I was around at the very beginning already at the times of the announcement. And I've joined the team officially and publicly during the alpha network, during the test network and before the ICO was finished.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
you guys have come a long way. You've developed quite a lot in that 2-year journey.
Yeah. So Kadan, so your platform does so many things. How would you describe it to somebody who is new to the platform in the simplest way possible? Okay,
if it's not a dev, then I just say it's Komodo itself became a tool. It became, I mean, really a non-technical, absolutely non-technical person, right? I'd say became a very mighty blockchain tool, which basically doesn't just cover one simple use case or 2 simple use cases, but furthermore, low-level problems, right? So our tech would allow you to cover a lot of different use cases, a lot of different problems in the blockchain space, and not just a specific use case showcase. I think the best example for this is how we started. and what we became now. I mean, right now you can take Komodo and use it to create your own blockchain within seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You'd enjoy Bitcoin level security while creating your chain, right? And at the end of the chain creation, you would be immediately tradable in the decentralized exchange, right? Without going through annoying listing processes where you'd potentially pay a fortune of getting listed. So this open, flexible, liberal, interoperable system that it is right now.
Well, you end up with atomic swaps as a result, meaning that you can trade any coin to any coin so long as they're inside of your the barter DEX, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So how does one get into the barter DEX? Do they just put their coin in there and say, I want to be in it, or what do they have to do to get into it?
Okay, I mean, right now we are currently working on the end user application, on the graphical user interface for barter DEX, right?
Right.
That would imply the following situation for an end user, for a noob, for someone who's just not technical enough to use it like we do. So you'd have like a simple app, you'd run it on your smartphone. You would have a deposit address, just like you have on a centralized exchange. However, that address and the associated private key would always be fully under your control. There's no central entity handling, regulating, or even controlling that transaction, right? This is like the biggest benefit. And so your first step as an end user would be to just deposit the amount of tokens of value onto the trading engine, like a centralized exchange.
Sure.
That you want to trade. That's it. That's
cool.
literally it.
And the security part was actually a hard fork, right? The security for the privacy part of the blockchain was part of the hard fork from I forget the coin now. Was it Z? Is that right?
Okay.
Zcash.
Zcash, yeah.
Zcash.
Okay. So we're based on Zcash, yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
And when we created our cryptocurrency, we were basically a fork, a clone of Zcash. And based on that cryptocurrency, we implemented our logic. The work that we did a couple last years, I mean, James been around for a much longer time. He's been around since 2013, 2014.
Wow.
Last couple of art I have around that he might be actually Satoshi Nakamoto. Pretty can actually lead you to. And they've been like really this area in the atomic swap protocol. Initially, it was based on Tier Nolan's protocol specification. However, James turned it into like a piece of functioning software.
Right.
Okay. That wasn't all. Yeah. As when we started as a base fork, as a clone of Zcash, we immediately implemented this so-called depot, which is the security. Yes, it was some sort of hard fork, right? After copying Zcash, we hard fork our own chain to have all the implementations and everything running. And I think you were referring to a recent hard fork, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there was there was like some security issue on the Zcash core, and we've been contacted by the Zcash team. We've got the vulnerability disclosure from them.
Oh, that's very cool. And they disclosed that, so you patched it, right?
Exactly. So they informed us. We contracted a vulnerability disclosure agreement and a security collaboration agreement, just so there's like some sort of guideline and base for this. Yeah, and we immediately implemented it the same month. So we had everything implemented in the same month, and around 2 weeks later, we run the hard fork and had everything fixed.
Well, that's really cool to hear about communities working together like that. That's really, you know, we don't hear about that every day. So just the fact that you forked from somebody else to create your base chain, and
it's rare. It's
sometime
rare.
later on,
it's a rare thing.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yes. In the background, we all do. We all have like strings attached to each other. We all communicate. We all collaborate.
That's great. Where'd you guys get the name Komodo from, by the way?
Well, that's
other than the dragons in Indonesia.
Yeah. Well, it's somehow based there, but we had like the iguana protocol, right? Which was like ahead of Komodo's times. It was created and developed back in the day. So the first iteration of the decentralized exchange and a lot of other technologies that you see today in Komodo they were developed under this big brand SuperNet back in the day, right? That's like a long time ago. That's NXT times, basically.
Right.
And since we had already like these exotic names like Basilisk for the network protocol, Iguana for the applications, even our wallet was called Iguana back in the day, right? The Iguana wallet. So yeah, one thing led to another. It was like a chain reaction, and somehow we just landed there with Komodo.
Funny.
Sure.
And we like lizards. They are fast, they are strong, they are intelligent. So yeah.
Cold-blooded.
Cold-blooded.
I don't know what that says about the Komodo team, but you seem a little nicer than that. So one question, I'm going to go a little bit into some of the business side of things, because what I see is that you guys raised about 2 million, in your ICO in, what was it, like November 2016, something like that, about $2 million. So that's not going to last a company very long that's building a business. So what is it that you guys are using to kind of fund the employees to pay for salaries to monetize the platform itself? Can you just give us kind of an update of any sort in terms of where you guys are in that space?
Sure. So, we are aware that many projects are currently struggling with the financial layer. However, Komodo is even still hiring, right? Right now, as we speak, we have around $50,000 to $100,000 in open bounties, right? For tech implementation that we are offering the community. So as you can obviously see, we're not running into any financial issues. We gladly are in the position that we have James, JL777, who's like pretty skilled and pretty experienced with the whole ecosystem as such. So although we just raised this limited number of funds, James always have been like able to kind of manage additional revenue streams, additional technologies that kind of create additional revenue for Komodo, for SuperNet. Right now, in our current situation, we'd be easily able to keep operating for another 5 to 10 years without having to think about anything.
Really?
However, really. However, we tend to solve problems before they arise and before they become reality.
Right.
So I'm not sure if you know, but this is a little info that I can leak today, that Komodo has been working on a blockchain as a service system over the last around 6 months now. I'll just break it down abstract. What is it? Okay, this is a centralized web application that we're speaking about that you can just get online, www.createmychain.com. You just click, what do you want your chain to be? What is POS, POV, maybe a hybrid form? What sort of algorithm do you want? Do you want depot? Do you want to be supported in Agama, in BarterDEX, whatever? You have this mighty flexible configuration possibilities, which would allow you to afterwards just click one button. It's really a matter of clicking to get your chain online and created. And this feature is able to do this within a matter of seconds. So under 15 seconds to spin up a chain and have it live.
And you said it's called createmychain.com?
Well, this is just what I'm now just as a pseudo saying. I hope the domain wasn't taken. I'm not gonna buy that right now.
Yeah, you better.
Right, exactly. You better. If not, we're gonna buy it.
Yeah. Otherwise, just buy it, guys.
Well, fortunately, it's not a live episode. It'll go out later, so you've got some time in between recording and going live to say it.
Okay, I already switched the screen, if you saw. So okay, I'll switch back.
Sorry, you didn't panic you. So
I got some panic.
Going back to the monetization part. So what is it that you're doing that's actually bringing money into the platform itself? Because when I look at the platform, I see a lot of cool features, a lot of amazing things about blockchain and about scalability and security and adaptability, the interoperability between chains. All of that sounds amazing.
I'll give you one.
What I can't see when I look at it is what's generating revenue to keep that ability to stay alive for 5 to 10 years. And I ask you because there's so many ICOs that are in like, oh my God, we're not going to survive 3 months.
I'll be straight.
Yeah.
We have been really lucky with reinvestments, right? With allocating funds properly, which luckily led to a maximization of those funds. This is like point one. Point two is, I'm just giving you one example on the blockchain as a service system. Right. If you got online on that system, created your chain with 2 sync nodes to have an online peer-to-peer network, and then block explorer Okay, so 3 servers and the chain live with the pre-mined, okay, whatever. It will cost us around $60 a month, okay? If we'd resold this for $177.7 US, we'd have more than $100 in profit just out of this service. Now, the package I just described to you, create your chain, have 2 sync nodes and a block explorer, is just the optimal, really optimal test chain setup for devs, for people curious on the tech, etc.
Yeah.
If you are able to manage 1,000 people to just spin up a test chain for under $200, and we both know this ain't hard at all. I mean, we have at least 10,000 people crawling in Bitcoin Talk asking how to create their chain because they believe I'm gonna making $1 billion and fortune out of their own blockchain, right? So just saying, if you just cover that area, the dreamers, you'd make, if you'd cover 1,000 dreamers, you'd make over $100,000 in profit out of this blockchain service system. Okay,
I'm sort of thinking, you know, because I mean, this could be a first for a YouTube channel to launch their own blockchain. So how about we throw a challenge your way and you give us, when you're ready, the system to start with. We don't know what we're doing, but we'll launch YouTube blockchain chain on Komodo, and we'll do it together just for the sake of it. And Yuri and I have ideas of things we could do with coins.
I'd love to do that. I'll give you in addition 10, 20 bonus keys that you can spread around for campaigns, whatever. That's the code name, by the way. I just leaked it. We'll be able to spin up a chain for free. So we'll cover the first 20.
Say the code. I didn't hear the code name because of some delays in the line. Could you?
So it's Chain Lizard.
Chain Lizard.
Chain Lizard.
Chain Lizard.
So what is Chain Lizard?
Well, you know a lizard, right?
Yeah.
And it's many sides. Chain Lizard is the same guy, but when he opens it, but a straight guy, he's not criminal. But
exactly,
that's Chain Lizard. It's just
he'll give you a deal one way or the other. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, well, we'll be editing.
The trades that also floats back into the ecosystem. That's all another point you mentioned, right? And on top, for example, the depot technologies, we have some enterprise level solutions for the delayed proof of work security layer. So that's another revenue stream that we're already utilizing right now. That is generating revenue right now, just for your
Wow. Okay.
I apologize, guys. I had some sort of an internet delay, and I lost like the last 30 seconds.
Oh, no worries. I can repeat if you want.
Sure, if you could. I'll edit out the previous, and I'll just cut it back in because I'll have to.
Sure. The talk was about the revenue stream, and this blockchain as a service system is really just one of a revenue stream generating software application that are built on top of Komodo. As you know, for example, the BarterDex network, the decentralized exchange, same thing, just gets a very tiny fee for all atomic swaps, which floats back into the Komodo ecosystem again, right? So we have various layers that are generating revenue, and even ones that are generating revenue as we speak. For example, Depot, the delayed proof of work system, as an external third-party token, you'd pay a tiny service fee for the maintenance, server spin-ups, etc., to be secured by our technology. So as you can see, we have really various different.
So lots of people spending a little bit of money. It's a volume play. As long as you get people on the system using it, makes sense.
Bingo.
So I mean, when I look at the way the Komodo platform is designed, it's it's all about instantiating, creating your own blockchains. How many projects do you have that have created their own blockchain as side chains to the main Komodo platform so far? I tried to do some research. It was very hard to find it. That's why I'm asking.
It's hard. If you check the currently official integrated chains in the ecosystem, that means they are not just created chains, but really being utilized I would have to lie to tell you a precise number, because we literally add a new chain like every day or two, every week,
Really?
and it depends on the week. Yeah, we have a lot of chains spinning up, but we have a lot of even third-party tokens contacting us and asking, what does it take to migrate to an chain? Because we've seen, like, when I create my chain on Komodo, I get DEX access, I get SPV infrastructure, I get your support, your knowledge, everything, all your tools. We have a wallet by tomorrow if you created the chain today. If you were doing the stuff on your own, it would take you literally months and years, right? So this is one more thing that we have a lot of interested parties joining. We're somewhere between 30, 40 live chains. Really, those are live, those are being used. But if I'd have to tell you like how many chains were created with Komodo, I'd have to say hundreds to thousands of chains easily.
Wow.
Because I cannot track every single chain that got created.
Of course not.
But just by the requests that I get, it's at least 1,000 chains. That
are there any particular projects that we would have probably heard of that are running on the Komodo environment?
Do you, for example, know Einsteinium coin, EMC2?
Sure. Yes.
They are utilizing depot technology. They are running in our network. They are being secured by our network, and the blockchain information of Einsteinium coin is being backed up into Komodo in regular intervals.
Okay.
Which then backs them up into Bitcoin. Just to name one, Veros coin. Have you heard of Veros coin?
Yeah.
Veros coin is a pure Komodo-based token, so not just a third-party coin.
They actually forked the Komodo base, didn't they?
Yeah, they forked the Komodo base,
right.
But they are, and we merged them back into the Komodo code. So we are in sync. Both code bases are in sync now. So we melted together again, right? If you want to put it like that. And they are like a full, by definition, a full asset chain, like a pure Komodo chain, right? Yeah. And those were just like two. There are like many, many more chains. The first chains that issued like decentralized ICOs earlier, last year. We have like Block Nation, Pearl Pay. Pearl Pay is one of them. So there are a couple. Utrum. That are like third-party projects, even companies that are building. So this is
like almost the missed opportunity that you've got projects that are on Komodo, and Komodo is not somehow able to communicate the greatness of the platform by sharing all of the great coins that have joined into this community. So it leaves you feeling a little empty when you're looking at Komodo's website and going through all the online materials, trying to find out how significant are you? And the answer is, it's so hard to tell because the documentation and the white paper and all the materials are amazing. And then you go and try to find out the projects that are on there and you say, are there any?
I feel hard to find. But I have really to add that all our different divisions, we haven't really been focusing on overhyping something that's not ready to share. We kind of felt that it would be unethical. It wouldn't be ethical at all, really.
Sure. Right.
Our marketing team has been preparing and working on a rebrand over the last full year, really, the whole year. Researching, analyzing, user experience, feedbacks, revisions. A lot of empirical studies were like
YouTube interviews. They should watch these too.
Yeah, they did. Like our marketing division has built like a solid base and always been like in touch with us while we build the backend system, the core of Komodo. Okay. And we've been progressing really nice. I mean, our DEX system, Barter DEX, is now the 3rd generation. It's the only 3rd generation cryptocurrency decentralized exchange on this planet. There's no other. Wow. All the other DEX that you see are all in development or still testing, or we are fine-tuning the production version. Okay, just for your info.
The fact that you have atomic swaps is already
cross-chain atomic swaps. And
not just that's really, really, really important. Because
even with ERC and Ethereum tokens, right? We are compatible. The compatibility is given with all other blockchains in the universe, and this was also our main motivation: have a solid system, one that we would be happy with presenting other people, but more importantly, one that makes not just me wake up with a smile on my face every single day, but also our users, right? This is like really, really important. And right now, we reached this moment where we feel like, yes, the tech is solid now. We reached this solid level where it's time to spread the news, to fire up marketing efforts. into the PR direction, not just prepare documentations, UX. We've been like working hard on UX, right, for our apps, get the same user experience across them. That's what we all have been doing. And in the meantime, our business division has been working on partnerships, potential partnerships. I mean, that takes like calls every week. You guys are probably calling a lot around. You know, it eats up a whole day just to get
a lot of effort to get involved with the right people and the right projects.
This was the reason why we haven't, sorry to say this, but why we haven't just pumped and overhyped our coin for nothing, because it would have been unethical and it would have been like for nothing. We would lie to ourselves. But now, like we can give you our code base and tell you review it. We're comfortable with the whole situation.
Fantastic.
Great. So with that, you know, you said your marketing team is ready to start kind of launching things up. When can we maybe expect to see more news coming about, like your projects you're working on, the platform, all of that? When will that start to trickle out?
It's already happening. For example, yesterday there was a Forbes featuring. They interviewed me and our CMO, Steve Lee, and they posted it. I can share the link with you. I mean, that was Forbes. But the last 2 to 3 weeks, they have been like media reports in the whole universe weekly, for sure weekly. Marketing is pushing like a big update announcement out shortly. They're already like preparing, working on it. And I can send you an explicit mail just to point you towards it and give you heads up when it's ready and it's out. But it's happening.
Sure.
It's happening.
Yes, please do. Thank you. Yeah.
I had a other question. So is there an atomic swap API, or it's only done by way of your own individual?
No. So all our software applications and all our tools have an API. It's a local running API. They have the backend API, usually an RPC interface. So you would have like a predefined set of functionalities that you could utilize on your own. You wouldn't have to use our end user apps and our front end applications. You could literally simply grab our tech, just copy it and reuse it for whatever software you want to build. It's a big advantage. The only requirement that we have is that you keep it open source and that you basically show the community what you changed. So teach the community as part of your modifications.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. And the other thing I'm wondering is, how do you actually take snapshots of this whole thing and store it on blockchain? I mean, how long does it take to do it, and what are you using to do that? Because it must be massive.
Okay, a snapshot always would depend on the size of the chain, like how many blocks are there around, but also how many transactions have there been around. So somewhere between like minutes and days. This is what it potentially could take to create a blockchain snapshot. We have like apps and tech in place which covers this automatically. So you have a script, you launch it, and you will create just a snapshot of whatever chain you add as a parameter, and now it becomes better. To support and assist all the chains that want to migrate over to Komodo, we even created a tool which would take this snapshot that you created and generate a transaction script out of it. What does this mean? This transaction script can be used to distribute the tokens of the new chain to all keys associated to the private keys of the old chain. So you would just log into your new chain with your same seed or private key, and your new tokens would showing up there. So this stack is being provided by us.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Wow.
That's very impressive. Wow. So what's the future plans then for Komodo? What's coming next that people should be looking out and watching for?
Okay, so 2018 was a big year for DEX technology, for our infrastructural work, but also for something that is called crypto conditions, okay? CCs, in just 2 letters, CC. I don't like mentioning the word smart contracts. However, to explain it someone non-technical, it's really essential. CC is our version of smart contracts. However, instead of getting just one smart contract who fulfills a specific logic on top of the blockchain, you'd compare it to something that, imagine you would get your own Ethereum platform. This is what CC does. It allows you to modify the consensus rules of your chain. it basically gives you a smart chain, right? It's not just a smart contract. And this tech is very, very mighty. And as we speak, JL777, our core dev, is developing ROG, the game from the 80s. So it's gonna be like the first real interactive blockchain game that's running on chain.
Wow.
I'll share the link with you. It's already implemented. It's on GitHub. It's online, but we're testing it. So we're still
you share the links, and then we'll share that with our listeners and subscribers here on YouTube, and
I will.
Users can come and check it out. And for those who want to try out a game on the blockchain coming from Komodo's platform, then we'll have it here for people to give it a go.
Yeah,
and it gets even better. The ROG character for the gameplay, right? It's actually a collectible because it's a non-fungible token with unique attributes and properties, even items.
So like an ERC721 token, effectively.
Right.
Better.
That's awesome.
An ERC721721 token.
And 333. Add another 333.
Okay, it's an ERC721333 token.
777. That's it.
It's a 777 token, right? Cool. This has been really, really useful. I mean, it's of course, it's always a shame that we don't have more time for all these types of episodes, but just everything we've covered so far has been amazing.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you want to slip into conversation before we
Before we end it, just one thing. This year is our mobile year. So as we see, the mobile access to online platforms in this year surpassed a new record. We're above 50%, somewhere between 55 to 60%. Depending on which DNS providers to provide this info. So we clearly see a laptop like we all three use will be something rare in the future, in 5 to 10 years. Devs, geeks, IT peeps, though we will use it. The rest is moving to mobile devices without long boot times, smartphones, tablets, etc. This is what we are also focusing on. We're bringing Komodo platform on all its features and technologies to mobile, to your smartphone, and to your tablet.
Fantastic. Wow. And for people that want to actually get into doing mining of KMD, what do they need to do to get into doing that?
It's possible. Like we're based on Equihash, the Zcash algorithm. So you can either get in touch with our community. We have a mining community. We have a couple of mining pools, and you just start mining there. Or in June, then this year's elections for the notary nodes are taking place. So you can also, if you feel you're techie and you understand the technology, just get into Discord rather today than tomorrow and tell us what you know, because that will raise the chances of becoming a notary node operator, which gives you a very low difficulty for mining. So you'll mine your predefined amount of tokens for sure every day.
Wow. How interesting.
Yeah.
Well, share the links with us. We'll put them in the episode, and we'll make sure that people have got access to this so they can get involved in whatever way they want. And Kadan, thank you so much for taking the time.
I thank you so much,
and
Steve.
Thank you.
This was exciting.
Yeah, it's really.
It was a pleasure.
For those people who haven't taken a look at Komodo, the website is Komodo.
KomodoPlatform.com.
KomodoPlatform.com. They've got some fantastic information. Believe it or not, for a crypto project, it's actually written in English. So it's really easy to read. It's there's some great content on there. So for people who want to just dig in and understand, what's the big deal about other platforms that Yuri and I have talked about, outside of Ethereum or EOS, Komodo is a great example of this. It's a real platform. It's got other things going on. And it's got privacy as well, which a lot of people are really big on. So lots of really cool things. Well, obviously not sponsoring or suggesting this project over any other, because we don't give any investment advice.
No, we don't.
We both love what we've read, and it's exciting. So, Kadan, thank you so much for taking the time. And to all our listeners, thanks for listening. And our viewers, thanks for viewing. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe on the way out. To the moon. Until next time.